In the heart of Bukunda village, beneath the fiery African sun, and among the whispering banana groves, lived a man named Kyamagwa. With his deep voice, commanding presence, and ever-polished shoes, he was both admired and feared. A man of wealth and influence, he carried himself with a pride that bordered on arrogancy. But what Kyamagwa prided himself in most was his strange, destructive hobby, breaking relationships and marriages. It started subtly. Whispers in the marketplace about a woman crying, a man packing his things, children hiding in fear. But somehow, Kyamagwa's name would surface. Whether it was through flirtation, deceit, or manipulating trust, he found twisted joy in disrupting happy homes. Let them learn, he would say, sipping his mara under the moonlight. No marriage is too strong for a man like me. He was particularly brutal with women. He would attract committed women into affairs, then dump them coldly, often letting their husbands discover the betrayal. To his own wife Nandaula, he showed no mercy. He would disgrace her in public, mock her in front of their guests, and accuse her of things she never did. Her once bright eyes became dull, and she spoke less and less, always shrinking when her husband walked in. Yet in all this destruction, Kyamagwa forgot one thing. He had 2 daughters, Mwajuma and Aboki. They were the apples of their mother's eye. Though Kyamagwa paid them little attention, Nandaula taught them kindness, patience, and strength. As the girls grew, they often overheard the village gossip, the tales of their father's misdeeds. Aboki once asked, "Mama, why do people cry when they talk about Tata?" Nandaula's heart broke, but all she could say was, "One day, my child, you will understand." Years passed. Mwajuma, the elder daughter, married a gentle teacher named Kalema from a neighboring district. Aboki followed, wedding Ranga, a humble carpenter with dreams of building a better life. For a while, it seemed their lives would be different, but as fate would have it, Kyamagwa's shadow stretched further than anyone imagined. Kalema's school hired a new headmistress, sharp, confident, and recently divorced. She became close with Kalema, and soon the cracks in Mwajuma's marriage began to show. Kalema started coming home late, dismissing her questions with silence. Then came the day he packed his clothes and walked out, leaving her heartbroken with 2 children. In Aboke's home, things were no better. Ranga met a wealth client who attracted him into business and later into her bed. Aboki, like her mother once did, cried alone in her bedroom, feeling the same shame her father had inflicted on so many women. News reached Kyamagwa slowly. He was older now, slower, with a back bent by age and perhaps by guilt. At first, he blames his daughters. They don't know how to keep a man. But one day, as he sat alone by his veranda, he overheard children mocking his granddaughters. Their grandfather is the one who used to break marriages. No wonder their fathers left. Something snapped in Kyamagwa. He began to see Nandaula's eyes differently. He remembered her silence, her strength, the tears she never let fall in front of the children. He remembered the women he had used and discarded, the homes he had torn apart, the weddings that never happened because of his meddling. He saw, now too clearly, how his daughters had inherited not only his name, but also his curse. Kyamagwa called for his daughters one day. They came hesitantly, holding their pain close like warm shawls. They sat in silence until he spoke. "My children," he began, "I once thought I was a man. I believed power was in how many hearts I could break, how many families I could ruin. But I was a fool. I did not see that I was building a fire that would one day burn my own home." Mwajuma wept. Aboki stared at the floor, and Nandaula, now grey and frail, simply nodded. "I have no excuses," he continued, "but I beg you, heal, forgive, break this chain. Let your children grow in peace." What do we learn from Kyamagwa's story? Kyamagwa's story though tragic, is not uncommon. Many families live under shadows, cast by the actions of those before them. His life teaches us several powerful lessons. 1. As parents, our actions echo in our children's lives. What we do, say, and model becomes part of their world. Kyamagwa's disregard for marriage taught his daughters indirectly about instability, and they suffered similar fates. Number 2. Respect within families is fundamental. Kyamagwa's treatment of Nandaula showed his daughters that disrespect was normal. Only in his old age did he realize that love must be nurtured, not crushed. Number 3. Children are not immune to the wounds of their parents' behavior. They carry unspoken traumas, shame, and sometimes even repeat the same patterns. 4. Redemption is possible, but it requires humility. Kyamagwa's repentance did not undo the past, but it opened the door for healing. Admitting wrong is not weakness, it is strength. In the heart of Bukunda, Kyamagwa now lives quietly, tending a small garden. The same hands that once caused heartbreak now grow food for his grandchildren. Sometimes he tells them stories, not of his pride, but of his regret. And as the sun sets behind the banana trees, the village remembers not just the man he was, but the man he chose to become.